let it say.
Brothers and sisters, it is indeed great honor to me to speak on world peace through compassion and non-violence, and through my broken English. First of all, I would like to thank all the concerned people who arranged this opportunity. Now, you come here to listen, you see, my talk, I think with some expectation. But I'm afraid I have nothing to offer you, except, you see, some of my feeling or my experience to share with you. Because I believe, see, we are the same human being. In spite, you see, culture or religion or race or even if the continent is differences. But these are secondary. Basically, we are same human being. We are members of one big human family. And our inner experience and its desire for happiness and desire for overcome pains and sorrow, that also same. So on that basis, I think we can communicate more easily. So this moment, let us, feel we are simply just a human being. The other is complicated things remain secondary, leave aside. Then, Now, what is the purpose of our life? I believe happiness, joy. That's our purpose of our life. The reason is quite clear. I think, very existence of daily life, I think, based on hope. If someone who completely lost hope, then their very existence become questionable. So therefore, I think you see, hope, betterment, or better future, better next day. You see, that kind of feeling, I think, lead our whole life. So therefore, I think the purpose of our life, we can say happiness. Now, I think as time goes, and also the material, the development through science and technology, there's much, I think, achievement there. And also, I think, in some way, due to population, and also, of course, the well communication, easier communication. So, due to these factors, the world becomes smaller and smaller. So, therefore, the nature of interdependent one another become very, very clear, very obvious. In ancient time, I think village to village, even I think can, without interaction, I think they can survive. But now today, that situation now gone. And I think now you see crisis of one part of the world. Now actually, I think the global crisis. Since you see, things are so much interrelated. And then, now here the main question, the peace, world peace. I believe basic human nature is gentleness. And according to some scientists also, have the same opinion. I was told. So, you see, I think a genuine or natural human desire, want peace, want friendly atmosphere. So therefore, you see, war is something actually humanity do not want. However, if you look human history, the war is something part of human history, part of human life. However, because of much change and circumstances, now I think today, although I think the name or the word war is same, but meaning is much different than the previous war. You see, the war today, due to technology, you see, the destructive power is immense. So, you see, not only the human suffering, you see, the thousands of human suffering, but also, you see, a lot of destruction environment. And also, actually, you see, war is so much expensive. You see, we need, you see, everywhere, you see, every people, you see, always, you see, shouting, high prices or high inflation, these things. You see, every family, you see, concerned about money. And I think in worse, you see, the same one globe, one planet, you see, one side, the people, well-to-do, and the economic situation comparatively much better. At the same time, the same planet, same human being, same human same member of human family, you see, facing starvation. So under such circumstances, you see, I think modern war is something really negative. So, you see, peace. Now, I think desire for peace not come from, the religious, religious belief or something else, but due to, I think, we realize the peace, harmony is something really necessary. So therefore, you see, I think, you see, the recent years, the genuine desire for peace, I think everywhere, particularly among, you see, younger generation, you see, that desire is something really, I think, comes stronger and stronger. So now, the question is, how to achieve the genuine peace? The genuine peace is not mere absence of war. I think, you see, genuine peace is something more than that. Now, example is, at least in the European continent, this last few decades, there's some peace there. But that peace, if we look closely, that peace is not genuine peace, because that peace comes from out of fear. So mentally they are, still, very, unhappy. That I noticed. Now today, although it's the same, calm nature, but nowadays the peace which prevail in European continent, now that peace, I think, genuine peace, because now that peace comes from mutual trust, mutual respect, not out of fear. I think, peace comes from on the basis of, I think, human understanding, the human feeling. So, this peace really become more fuller meaning or genuine peace. So it obviously, it demonstrated the genuine peace must come through as a human understanding, not by weapon, not by fear. Therefore, now, in order to achieve genuine peace, the peace must come through mental peace. So without inner peace, the genuine world peace is very difficult to achieve. So it is almost impossible, expecting some genuine peace while our inner world remain, full of hatred, full of anger. So therefore, the genuine, proper path to world peace is the compassion. This I believe. Now, if you have, genuine compassion, towards the person who really, creates problem or creates suffering to you, due to compassionate mental attitude, your attitude towards that person is something much, even though you realize that person creates problem. But however, due to the mental, attitude, you find much easier to deal with that person. So therefore, the compassion is something, key thing. Now then, what is the meaning of compassion? Compassion, not something like, the feeling of pityness, or something attachment, not that kind. Although both cases, there is feeling of the closeness feeling, some kind of closeness feeling. But compassion is more than that. Not only feeling of closeness, but also there is the awareness or the sense of responsibility. So someone who suffer, someone who are suffering, then the feeling that person also, just like myself, do not want suffering and want happiness and have every right to be happy, to overcome suffering. So from that awareness or that understanding or realization, then the feeling of some concern or closeness feeling toward that person with sense of responsibility, that is genuine compassion. So that motivation or that, I think, that thought, that attitude is something I consider something very, very useful. Compassion or good heart develop inner strength. Once you develop inner strength, the self-confidence will come or will increase. And fear will go. So with self-confidence and with open-minded, with flexible attitude, with that, these mental, I think, quality is almost like a guarantee for better future, for success future, for happier future. The other case, fear, lose self-confidence and indecisive and always suspicion, some kind of negative attitude towards other. Under such circumstances, the pessimism or I think some kind of even the self-hatred, these kind of feeling come. So these are the real ultimate the source of failure. So therefore, the compassion is, I consider, most precious thing. Whether rich or poor, educated or uneducated, or politician or religious or professional, no matter. The good heart is, I think, something key thing. And also, if the person have compassion, then whole his action become more constructive or positive. If the person do not have this inner quality, then the action become more destructive. Now, for example, say, religion or politics or economy or education or the law or medical field, in every field, even warfare. All these parts of human activities. Now, if someone, if someone who deal in politics, if the person, the lack of, this good human quality, then that the person become more, unreliable or unreliable. Or here saying something, doing something different. So then through that way, that people usually, they call politics something dirty politics. But actually, the politics itself, nothing wrong itself. Now, in religions also, if a person who deal in religion, if that person something lacking, something missing in heart, then religion also become dirty religion. instead of provide humanity some, how to say, comfort, it creates more trouble. So therefore, you see, every human action, whether become constructive or destructive, must depend on human, how to say, heart. Then you see technology and science. Of course, marvelous. You see, nothing wrong itself. Again, now, if you see, say, now for example, I think the technology and science. If we look from the purely the scientific point of view, then you see those awful weapons like a nuclear weapon or Newton bombs, these things really remarkable achievement. But then because you see these achievements bring to humanity more fear, more suffering. Therefore, we consider these things negative. So you see, on the basis of human feeling, then we judge. Now, this is right, this is wrong. Without, you see, without basis on human feeling, it's difficult to judge which is right, which is wrong, which is positive, which is negative. So therefore, all human activities, I think the key mover, prime mover is motivation. So therefore, the compassion is very important, I would say, very important factor. Then for the health reason also, the good heart, you see, creates mental calmness. You see, mental calmness is very important for good health. Sometimes it looks, I think, you see, those people who have, you see, I think, contrast experience. You see, few moments, so much excited, so much happy, joy, excitement. Then, after a few hours or after a few days, very low. I think that kind of, you see, too high, too low, you see, upside down, you see, that kind of thing looks very colorful. But I think, you see, in real sense, that I think too much, you see, disturb for its mind. So as a result, you see, eventually health will deteriorate. Therefore, you see, from various viewpoints, one's own, how to say, one's own benefit, one's own future success, including one's own health and environment and or comfort of our, how to say, companions, is very much related with good heart. Now, usually I am joking, you see, people that we love friend, humanity by nature, you see, we are social animal. Therefore, you see, we love our friend. If friends, genuine friends surrounded you, you see, you feel happy, you feel comfort, you feel secure. So because of human nature, the feeling of loneliness, you see, creates many negative, development within our body also. Therefore, you see, the human nature, you see, we love friend. And friend with big smile. You see, that we are very much cherishing, isn't it? So, how to bring good friend? How to bring good, genuine smile? If you keep here negative, you see, attitude, then you see, then you see, it is impossible, you see, to bring the genuine good friend or genuine, how to say, a good smile. Now, usually, you see, people who have power, you see, who have wealth, you see, these people usually have, you see, more friends. But these friends, if we look closely, these friends are not genuine human friends, but these are friends of wealth or power. So you see, so long you have these, you see, things there, these friends always come to you. As soon as your fortune decline, then these friends disappear automatically. Even you want to telephone, you may not get answer. Even you get some answer, I think very short and rude answer. So therefore, you see, the genuine friend should not become friend due to wealth or other reason. But genuine friend must come on the basis of genuine human feeling, human, human affection. And also, you see, naturally, when our fortune goes this way, then without a friend, we can manage. When you see our fortune go decline, then that is the time we need most of friend. So you see, those friend, artificial friend, is no use, isn't it? Therefore, you see, the good heart is something very, very important. In, I think, social life also, you see, very important. Then for marriage also, you see, very important. I think I would like to mention something. I think marriage is, I think, and of course, I'm Buddhist monk. What's it? Celibate. However, you see, in human community, I think marriage is one of the very important, part of life. So you should not should not look marriage as something very easy way. That if you see you without a proper, thinking or proper, proper arrangement or proper preparation, then the marriage bring, more trouble. You see, the divorce doesn't matter, all right, but my main concern is children. It's our younger generation, our future generation. You see, here, you see, many children, I think, another word, you see, many people, you see, who have, you see, some kind of, you see, mentally, psychological problem. But these, of course, there are other factors also there. But one major factor is when they are young, you see, when they are growing, you see, at that time, you see, their experience or atmosphere, you see, become the prime factor. So the parents' love, parents' care to children is, I think, the most important factor for the happiness of the children, or through that way, I think healthier and happier, more harmonious human generation should come that way. If we neglect right from the beginning, then you see many children, you see, due to lack of this affection, then whole their life spoil, and in the society, a lot of troubles happen. Then, although you see everywhere, you see people, you see, try to solve these problems, but because, like you see tree or like a plant, right from the beginning something wrong, something lacking, then very difficult to repair, isn't it? So you see something like that. You see, right from the beginning, you see, when the seedling and the small,
small shoot.
No, small shoot. You see, during those moments, you see, taking proper care, then the healthy and good plant come. Similarly, we human beings also, you see, must develop through that way. So many current problems not come just yesterday, due to many years, I think, lack of care and lack of, I think, awareness. Due to that, now present crisis happen. So therefore, you see, the good heart, you see, genuine compassion, these things, I believe, the key factor for better world. Now this is one part. Then, non-violence. As I mentioned earlier, even warfare with human affection is much less danger. The war completely controlled by mechanized one become more dangerous. So therefore, you see, now about the war, my one principal belief is non-violence. Now again here, what is the meaning of non-violence? Non-violence is I think it's a two level. One level, non-violence, simply is a restraint, harming to other. Then the deeper meaning of non-violence is not mere absence of harming, but something positive, which is serving, helping. That is non-violence. Now, because human basic nature is gentleness, so non-violence method is human way, usually I call. The violent method is inhuman way. And also the violence, I consider something like very strong pill. You may solve some pain by that pill, but at the same time, the great side effects. So similarly, violence, sometimes, you see, it looks solve some problem, but very often it creates the longer and bigger problem. So therefore, the non-violence is much safer. Here, you see, we need you see, more patience, more determination. Through that way, through non-violence, once you achieve something, that I consider real, genuine achievement. There's no side effect. So therefore, you see, non-violence is really human way. Now here, although recent years, you see, on this planet, I think the freedom movement, the democratic movement, on the basis of like popular movement through non-violence, now become political force, isn't it? I think these, you see, these indicated that non-violence is something effective method. Now, it's like the recent Gulf crisis, I think reminds us, you see, the modern war is really terrible. Then, you see, once you see there's some crisis, serious crisis happen, then every people is just rushing and try to solve that. But, you see, to me, it seems, you see, I think due to very, I think, what is it?
He's the
I think due to the modern life, you see, too much hurry. So I think you may not have, you see, enough time, you see, to think the deeper cause. You see, this I feel very important. You see, the cause and effect. You see, like you see, the Gulf War invasion. You see, this immediate cause, is Saddam Hussein. But his policy, which is greedy and these things. Then the further goes, there are many causes. Why, you see, that dictatorship? Firstly, you say, how to become a dictatorship? How it came?
How the dictatorship came into the being in the first place.
And then, you see, all these, you see, the deeper, you see, causes, the previous causes. So here, I think, very clear, his military power, you see, developed not entirely within his own country, but Firstly, you see, military equipment come from other countries. And then international international atmosphere, particularly in the, the political, international, the relation field. You see, people, I think, very much neglect about the value of truth. They very much neglect about moral principle. So these, you see, two things combine. Then, you see, dictatorships happen. So therefore, now, I think time has come to think seriously how to reduce military forces. That, I think, is very important. Now, already, you see, there are many people, leaders, you see, fully committed the nuclear, disarmament and the reduction of nuclear threat. Very good. Then, you see, they control or minimize the danger of conventional,
forces
of warfare. Now, so I think now time has come to think. This is something, you see, long-term plan. First, denuclearize. Then second, you see, elimination of all offensive, you see, weapon. Then third, eventually, you see, the world whole, I think, should be a demilitarized zone. I think, you see, at the beginning, when we, you see, demilitarize, when we stop all these, you see, business, military equipment, business, these things, you see, I think at the beginning to change, you see, that pattern, then some company or some nation, you see, at the beginning may find some, I think, loose or some, you see, difficult at the period of adjustment. Then eventually, I don't think, you see, there are many, those factories which producing military equipment, I think they can shift or change some other more constructive, you see, mission. We have, you see, plenty of problem. You see, I think, the water resources and also the energy resource without pollution, these things, and so many other things there, isn't it? I think, for example, you see, there are on this planet a lot of desert there. What called desert? In Sahara Desert or Indian continent, in Soviet, in China, that border area, you see, there are a lot of, you see, deserts there. I think, you see, a lot of places where, you see, our resource, our technology, many things we can put there, you see, to make it a more productive place, isn't it? And those, then particularly the scientists, you see, I believe, I consider the most brilliant human being. There is a wonderful, fantastic, you see, intelligence, you see, using on destructive field. That's a very pity, very sad. As I mentioned earlier, you see, our very purpose of our life is something benefit, something positive, not negative, isn't it? Then you see those people who have such a wonderful brain, now their whole energy put in something destructive. It's very, very sad. Therefore, isn't it? So therefore, You see, I think we need some kind of, the long-term master plan. You see, turning our direction. We complaining. We always complaining war and war. We always complaining killing these things. Yet we faithfully follow that direction. It is wrong. War man-made. War is man-made. Now solution should come from humanity. You see, there's no one else, come forward with some initiative. Ourselves must come front way. Must go with initiative. So therefore, I think I think time has come, to think seriously about, this war mission and military establishment itself. I feel, due to, certain, I think, the human history, I think our very concept towards war is something, I think, wrong. I feel, I myself, when I was small, I very much attracted the military equipment, especially those guns. Very, polished one, very attractive, very beautiful, very smart. So when I realized this beautiful equipment is meant for kill, then I realized, these things, in spite of beautifulness, there. But it is dangerous. So therefore, I think our very concept about war is something wrong. I think we somehow, brainwashed. We believe. Sometimes we feel, war is something, another aspect of human art. Then through that way, the individual human being can become hero, something national hero. But that means more killing, more suffering on others. And I think the very concept, ours and theirs, it is not good. Isn't it? Theirs body also just exactly same as ours. Because mosquito comes, they very uncomfortable, isn't it? Under such circumstances, how to dare, so much destructive, explosive, things put on them. How can? We are same human being, we are same human flesh. Isn't it very sad? We are human beings. So we can solve problem through, I think, human communication, with patience, with determination. This I feel. So therefore, then at another point, with this I want to, to explain something. Now, I think many people feel, demilitarization, complete demilitarization, a sound looks nice, but impractical, firstly, and secondly, and also dangerous. Some may feel like that. For this, I feel, the recent crisis. Because of the circumstances, you need the force of, allied or coalition forces. So therefore, we have to, we can manage, to set up the collective force, which all member states, share or contribute equal number of force. Then, controlled by collective commandership. And controlled by, the or is it the international organization, such as US or such as UN or something like that, isn't it? Or first step, as a first step, not whole world but regional, say in the European continent, you see, the all member state, you see, contributed one force, and then America, northern and southern, you see, things like that, in Africa, on Arabs. So I think we can, if human being, I think, you see, think on deeper way, with more patience, I think we will find some, I think, a proper solution for our future. This I feel. The one thing. Then last, last, I forgot one thing there. Karina. Now not coming here. All right, doesn't matter. No. So, now, although I feel they talking such things a little bit, I think, presumptuous, but I feel the millions of people remain in silence, but I think have this kind of feeling. So, now here, United States, people of United States, from my childhood, you see, we have the image of US that this country, not only powerful nation, but also, you see, champion for liberty, freedom, democracy. So I think you, the great nation, I think lead humanity in more right direction. This is, I think, on the basis of freedom, personal freedom, liberty, democracy. So this is, I think, your, greatest task. This is my hope.
First question, if I want to love my enemy, how can I transform my anger and hate into love?
You see, when the negative things happen, then since, you see, things are interdependent, so there are different aspects, many different aspects, many angles. So therefore, it is useful, you see, to look from different angle. As your question, you see, someone who creates problem to you, then if you look some other angle, then because, you see, that person creates problem, so therefore, you see, you are facing some challenge. So that challenge gives oneself more opportunity, you see, to utilize human determination, human wisdom. And also, you see, for a practitioner, now for example, you see, my own case, someone who practices compassion, you see, then, you see, in order to develop genuine compassion, you see, we need tolerance and patience. Then the best teacher for tolerance and patience is our enemy. So from that, So from that viewpoint, you see, you can develop some kind of deep appreciation. So now here, you see, if one enemy really, you see, threat to your life, then better to escape. Then other case, you see, some other trouble, then I think, you see, thinking these line, and eventually your negative attitude, negative feeling will reduce. Then, you see, you get some kind of, how to say, genuine inner strength on the basis of compassion. With that, you can face much easier with the person who creates trouble for you. So this is one way. Then generally, so when you see problem, some problem, negative things happen, then it is advisable or useful, you see, to look that problem from distance. So from distance, then it appears little smaller. If we only look, you see, that like this, then it becomes very big, and something you cannot bear, unbearable. That also is one technique. And then, of course, the anger transforms into compassion. Right? It takes time. Such practice, we need, you see, constant effort through patience and determination. Then eventually, you see, can change.
Next question. If the purpose of our lives is happiness, how is it that mankind spends so much time pursuing suffering?
동해 써야 해.
동해 규제한다 규제.
동해 규제 써야 해.
나온다 제대로 주겠어.
동해 청아 들으시지.
나온.
동해 청아도 수가 있자. 동해 영어마다 동해 청아도 두고다.
I don't think that we human beings knowingly pursue suffering.
I don't think. But you see, due to ignorance or due to short-sightedness, and also some cases due to impatience, because sometimes, you see, we create ourselves more suffering. But otherwise, you see, I think nobody deliberately, you see, pursue suffering. I don't think.
Is there?
I think here you see another thing, perhaps. You see, in order to gain, you see, bigger happiness or bigger benefit, sometimes purposely, you see, take some suffering. That, of course, altogether different case, different question.
And next question. Is there just one thing that people can do regardless of religion, or if they have a spiritual practice, something that is simple, that will help cultivate a good heart and peace in people's lives? Is just being kind to others enough?
처음 해봐. 그래. 처음 해봐, 전에. Last question, last part. I believe that is possible because the good heart or human affection, this I feel come from birth. I think by nature we have that kind of experience there, that kind of quality there. Because I think the nature of this body. Now even animals also, you see, when they born, when they grown up at certain stage, you see, the affection, the parent or particularly the mother, you see, like you see, bird or some other animals, you see, that is there. So human being. Now, for example, you see the medical scientist, you see, says that just after birth, it's a few weeks, that period is really crucial period for development of the brain, enlarging. You see, during that period, most important factor is mother or someone else's physical touch is the crucial factor for development of the brain. So this shows by
the very nature of our physical body,
you see, to this body need the other's affection. So therefore, I believe, generally speaking, I believe when we're born, we are free from any religion, but not free from human affection. Then religion come later. Religious faith come later. And actually, the various different religions, I think they are, how to say, you see, they do increasing the human good quality. So therefore, someone who have no particular religion, without faith, it's very possible, you see, to develop good heart. And that I actually, you see, trying, you see, to make clear, to tell people, because I believe 5 billion of human beings, little over 5 billion of human beings. Now, perhaps I think genuine religious believer, I don't think more than 1 billion. So rest 4 billions of humanity, no faith. So therefore, you see, they are majority. They are also human beings. So therefore, you see, there a message or technique should find to reach those, you see, remaining 4 billions of people. So therefore, I think usually I make, you see, two distinction. Spiritual, there are 2 levels. Spiritual, one, you see, with faith, with religious, how to say, traditional, religious, how to say, religious belief. The another spiritual, that is simply, say, those good quality of human nature. Now, and also you see another reason why there is possibility to develop good heart is, although anger and negative thoughts, these also part of human mind, but still, if we look carefully, I think the indication is that the dominant force of human mind is those positive human quality. Anger comes and goes, but not the dominant force. This is, I believe. Now, in spite, you see, human society today, you see, every newspaper, every day, you see, newspaper or radio, you see, broadcast some, you see, negative things happen here and there. But this very sure, I think these negative events actually not feel happy to humanity. Therefore, such things happen. Then you see, we get some kind of, how to say, a surprise or something. Then you see the other thing, the millions of people, you see, having, as the others' care and survive or live under human affection. You see, that kind of, you see, thing not worthy to report on newspaper, because that is something everyone, you see, take for granted. So therefore, there is a negative thing. Negative things showing in Nasa Tonash Ligarva.
The fact that we pay more attention to negative events is an indication that negative events like sufferings and miseries and so forth are contradictory to basic human nature.
Yeah, that is the last part is doing. It's mere
the last question was, is just being kind to others enough?
I think these two things, you see, compassion is motivation. Non-violence is the action of compassion. So I think these two things should go together.
Next. Is it possible to be compassionate without knowing how one is doing it? Or must I always know I am being compassionate when I practice it? I don't think it is necessary.
Now, for example, you see those animals. You see, as I mentioned, you see before. You see, animal also. You see, have some kind of limited altruism there. So according to some scientists, you see, says like that. So you see that some kind of compassion, some kind of good heart. I mean, they do practice or they do implement, but certainly they may not know what is that, isn't it? So you see, ngazu kana puchunju kane, samlo mahong ipana puchigi, ko chamji so long jegorwa. Redi di samle nalye di chamji in samle dushiginawa.
Similarly, in our childhood, at an early age, we have a natural capacity to appreciate others' affection and kindness, but we may not have that consciousness, the awareness that others are being compassionate and affectionate towards us. Next question. Those of us who work for a more balanced, compassionate world often find that we must work through the political sphere. It is hard. We are surrounded by anger, fear, greed, and disconnectedness. Often we fall into these ways ourselves, despite the fact that we begin with a good heart. Some of us give up the struggle and withdraw because it is so difficult. How can we maintain inner harmony and balance and bring that into difficult situations and exert there the power of love and healing?
Oh, what's the question? Still not very clear, but it seems to say the human affection or compassion with human intelligence, these two things should go together. You see, these two things become something like supplementary,
Complementary.
The human intelligence, you see, for human intelligence go right direction, that make by compassion. Now, compassion become effective by intelligence. So these things should go together. Right. So that I think any determination layer da ji kora kudu ne ju da gajin kar chabe ne ko situ chia di intelligence simbache shizat hasam ki simbache those chidu da lijmendo.
I feel that compassion and good heart and intelligence should go in union, so that compassion would steer which direction the human intelligence will be directed or utilized, and similarly intelligence would strengthen the force and stability of compassion, so that it will also be able to judge the appropriateness of circumstances, time, and the skillful means that are required in a particular context or circumstances.
Okay. Last question.
Last question. Your Holiness, if I understand correctly, you do not favor imposing sanctions against China. If this is so, how can we, with non-violence, help to make Tibet free again in our lifetime?
I believe, you see, China, as the most populated nation, it is unwise if China isolated. So it is much better, you see, China must bring into what's the mainstream. And then you see one thing, sometimes I feel a little bit, wondering. That is, you see, the Western nation, they adopt, I think, certain very, the appropriate or some right attitude towards Soviet Union. That is, you see, try to maintain good relation, or even you see, try to improve the mutual trust. At the same time, make clear, you see, those, you see, negative things or wrong things, such as human rights violations and things like that. So that, I think, is very, appropriate or wise. So it's a similar, attitude. Why not you see, adopt towards China? You see, maintain, try to good relation, the friendly, good relation. At the same time, make it clear through friendly manner. You see, those wrong things committed by Chinese government, make it clear, and take a strong position, or strong stand. I think that is for long run. I think the Chinese will appreciate much. Otherwise, you see, you remain too much, you see, politeness. Then that may create suspicion on others' mind. If you see, remain genuine friend, you see, a friend. At the same time, you see, I think straightforward. That kind of relation is, much healthier. So, eventually, I think if you see world opinion, you see, if I'm strong world opinion, including governments, then you see Chinese eventually, you see, will listen. You see, recent, according recent events, you see, it clearly demonstrated. Although Chinese government, you see, they, too much proud, but somehow, you see, they very much concerned about outside world opinion. So therefore, you see, it makes tremendous impact on their mind. And then overall, I think, now judging recent events on this planet, I think due to our so much, negative experience which we gained during this century, now humanity becoming more, more mature and a deeper awareness about our own interest, our long-term interest. So therefore, now those, you see, inhuman, those are the economic system or the political system or ideology, which basically is something inhuman.
Against human nature.
Against the human nature. These now, I think, now already you see many places already you see changed. Now Chinese case also, I think only matter of time. You see, say 5 to 10 years, I think things will change, definitely. So, in other words, the disappearance of Berlin Wall, with disappearance of the Berlin Wall, the Iron Curtain already, you see, disappeared. That is very good. Now, bamboo curtain still apparently active. So that also should go. So So you see, the citizen of the free world, I think everyone has moral responsibility, to help Chinese people, which Chinese people themselves, do not want this bamboo curtain. Thank you very much. Ha 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 ha.